Half later on the final day of the carnival.
Yeah, look forward to it, Pete.
Good on you, Paul. Paul Perry, the winning trainer. Let's go out to Jimmy Cassidy, the pumper. Here he is with Letzi.
Yes, Jim Cavenja was pretty impressive today, wasn't he?
Nice horse, mate. See a bit more of him in the autumn or back in the spring next year, mate.
Yeah, Jim, you were saying that he would have been much better on top of the ground as well.
On top of the ground, they would have to run 22 to beat him.
Well, he looks pretty good, and he's pulled up a treat, hasn't he? He just looks like so relaxed, and he won well at the Valley, didn't he? And today he really dug deep from the 200 metres in.
Yeah, he did. He's only learning too, John. He can only improve this bloke.
Yeah, well, there's something to look forward to, Jimmy, when he's on top of the ground.
Oh, my word.
Yeah, good luck for the rest of the carnival, mate.
Thanks, John.
Jimmy Cassidy out with John Letts out on the track, and his ever-confident self. And he's a nice type of horse, this fellow, Jen, isn't he, Cavenja?
Yes, he is. He's still learning, really, but it was a good effort. The time was interesting, Pete. 1:25.2, nearly 5 seconds outside the record that Lovey did record. But you can't take anything away from this horse. They have gone wider, trying to find the best going.
I think part of the reason for the slow time, as we look at the head-on here and Cavenja just drifting a little bit, you often see in small fields that they become a race of tactics, that they don't go like bats out of hell, and it becomes more a tactical race. So I'm sure that contributed to the time as well.
Yes, for sure. And I was just speaking to Damien Oliver. We saw him having a look at the track before, and he was saying that about 3 to 5 horses off from the rail, the inside rail, is the best going, and of course down the straight, for the straight races, he thought down the middle was the best.
Okay, well, here's the winner returning now, Cavenja. Like the run of Akabilki, got home nicely. Fabiano's son just getting into third placing, and as Jen said, the time 1:25.2. We'll take a break from fabulous Flemington. You're watching the Melbourne Cup Carnival of 1999 live and exclusive around Australia on Network 10. There's a couple of good sportsmen down there. On the right, Mark Scaife, who'll be having a very big weekend up on top of Mount Panorama next weekend. And the man in the middle is Collingwood Premiership player and true football legend, as he keeps on telling me every time I see him, Craig Kelly, affectionately known as Cementhead, with his lovely wife Meredith there. And they're enjoying a day at the races, as too are the kids. And we're about to get the correct weight signal after the fourth, the Sutcliffe Stakes, with Cavenja having beaten Akabilk and Fabiano's son. And there's the replay of that horse striding to the line. Like the way he lengthened in the last 200, I was interested to hear Paul say that he thought Fabiano's son might have him about the 250, and that's what I said to you, Jen, but he just kept on going at the one bat.
Yes, and I think he's still probably got a bit more improvement in him too, Peter. He's going places.
All right, there's the rider of Fabiano's son, Brett Preble, last up on the scales. They all weighed in there.
Correct weight.
Weight's right. Correct weight is there as the wind starts to gust up here at Flemington, but he looks nice and composed, that horse. Well, he might be, and I think we'll be seeing some more of him, only having his 5th race start today. With correct weight, time for the dividends. Dan Malicki.
Cavenja 260 and 170. Akabilk 270, no third dividend. For number 2, Fabiano's son, Quinella paid 10.90, exacta 23.60. Wasn't a lot of difference between the exacta and the trifecta, which paid $27, and the race-to-race double $25 even. So Cavenja, the winner of the race, ended up tote favourite there, Tim Gossage. Right at the end, it displaced Fabiano's son.
Yeah, massive go in the ring in the last minute. We tried to get that news to you just before they jumped. One notable punter went through the ring and certainly took the available odds, and it did jump easily favoured in race 3, 4. In race 5, we have 3 equal favourites, Mighty Way, St Clemens Bell and Delirious.
You know where you are?
No idea. I'm delirious.
Yeah, I think so.
Sorry.
All right, we're coming up to race 5. Shortly we'll have the presentation for race 4. Hilton on the Park Sprint, Jim. We've got a few out here. 1 Bomber Bill, 8 Cullen, 9 Harley and 11 Glamorimus. And Danny Nikolic rides Valley Warrior. What did you like?
Well, I like number 3, Mighty Way here, Peter. I thought his fresh form is extremely good. In fact, he hasn't missed a place in 5 goes fresh. And he's a horse that does like the sting out of the ground, so he's going to appreciate that here today.
Did you expect him to come up that short, though?
I didn't actually.
No.
I thought Delirious was a terrific chance too, maybe a Quinella chance, and this is number 10, the Warrior for 3rd.
I've gone for St Clements Bell because it does have fresh form, and I just thought she'd give a good account of herself here. And what is a pretty open race, race 5, the Hilton on the Park Sprint, and they'll come down the straight 1,100 metre track. And what was Damien saying? What was the best part? The middle.
Well, yes, he was saying down the straight it would be the crown of the racecourse, so that is right down the middle.
You often see that horses won't race on that crown, Jen, as we take a look at the selections. Mighty Way from Jen. Richard Friedman's gone for Hockney number 2. St Clements Bell from Let's and myself. Mighty Way from Dan and Gary. We'll touch on that subject in a moment. First of all, let's have a look at the Emirates Stakes, Totes, and see if there have been any significant moves. And I think it's still going to be a pretty open race because we've got 16 runners and we've got 16 chances. And we'll take a look at those in just a moment. Just before we do, we're talking about the crown of the track, and you often find that horses won't come down the crown because it does, by necessity, slope away at both sides, and riders don't like to be there most times.
Well, not only that, often horses do like to have the rail to guide them as well, and then they can run a lot straighter because you can find that they will wobble around a bit in the centre.
Well, here are these totes. Northern Drake still at huge odds, 17.90, but he has had a setback in this preparation. Rebel, 19, Umrum, 24, won the Toorak Handicap. LA Suez, $6.80, the Epsom winner. Blackbean a winner here, $5.10. Bonanova, $5.80. La Zagaleta, 10. Nina Haraka, 12. Noircia, 18. Betty Veer, 16. Over the page to the other chances. Des's Dream at $17. Babetto, the outsider, at 56. But good little each-way chances to Caniana, Go Flash Go Pursuits, and Strident. What are you smiling at?
Just what you did before, but no one saw it. That's okay.
And we're going to keep it that way too. Let's go to the presentation after the running of race 4, the Sutcliffe Stakes. And here is the Managing Director of Sutcliffe Interiors Proprietary Limited, Mr. Jeff Sutcliffe.
Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, the Sutcliffe family have been involved in marketing office furniture for 35 years. And the sole reason that we sponsor this race is to thank our clients, thank our suppliers, thank our manufacturers, and thank our friends and family for supporting us. We can't think of a better place to do it. An Australian icon, the Melbourne Cup Carnival. It gives us just such a great feeling to be part of this, and we have a great time with our customers and our friends. I would like to congratulate the winner of the race, the winning owner, and now I'd like to present the trophy to Steve Marshall, representing the connections of the owner. Thank you.
Here we go. Jeff Sutcliffe, the Managing Director of Sutcliffe Interiors, and we do thank Sutcliffe's and all of the sponsors who are so much a part of making this Melbourne Cup Carnival the success it has been.
It has been fantastic, and once again we've had massive crowds. Today, well, the weather's probably kept a few people away, but it's been good.
There's still a few here, aren't there?
Yes, there is.
And they only needed 20,000 to break the all-time record, and I've got the feeling that we might have just nudged over the 20,000 mark. We'll see later on in the day. We're heading towards race 5, the Hilton on the Park Stakes. It's due at 2:05 Australian Eastern Daylight Time. That is around 25 minutes from now. So in the interim, let's head back to the marquee, and I'm sure there's lots of the young ones enjoying themselves there today, Sandra Sully.
Absolutely. You know, there may be a few clouds on the horizon, but it's certainly not dampening the enthusiasm in the marquee. Well, just a reminder to all our viewers that we will be announcing this afternoon the winner of the Magi Race of the Century competition. We shall be running the entire race. We've been giving you snippets each day of the carnival, but this afternoon stick around because you could be winning a trip for 2 to the Kentucky Derby in the United States. Well, the big race, we've had 4 down, 5 to go, and the Emirates Stakes is coming up shortly on your screens, 2:45 Eastern Standard Time. Let's go to a break. We'll be back with so much more. Stick around here on Network 10.
Blanket finish. 4 or 5 of us went over the line. Next time I looked up was about 10 strides after the line, and I'm about length in front, half a length in front, and I thought, you'll be guilty. I've run the first 4, first Group 1 ride, first year of race riding, you know. And, mate, I came back to the semaphore board this day and had Mick Dittman right up beside me and say, congratulations, Simon, that's your first Group 1.
Yeah, I had a lovely barrier that day and I had a lovely run. She just tracked up and behind them and she was too strong, simple as that. I remember going out there, Peter Hayes saying to myself, don't go too quick on her, hold her up. And that's what I did. I was lucky because the 2 horses in front of me weren't going anywhere. Then one drifted out and I got a split through and she was too strong.
It was going to be a hard decision, well, not a hard decision to lead. He was always going to lead with whether he'd be relaxed enough to run it. But the big thing, when the Sting was out of the track, he was a little bit better. And that day, I think he might have run a 34 and a bit mile, even with the dig out of the track. And he just burned them off early and had them all off the bit 3 from home chasing. And poor Perry Fice over the carnival with these big days. And it was great to win the Emirates on him the last day.
Jockeys there, but I think every Australian has special memories of where they were, a particular time and place, and the day that hopefully they backed a winner. Well, when it comes to trainers, some people stand head and shoulders above the rest. We've had some true icons in Australian racing history through the people like Colin Hayes, Tommy Smith and Bart Cummings. But Australian racing suffered an enormous loss earlier this year with the passing away of champion trainer and breeder Colin Hayes. Let's take a look now at our tribute to not just a gentleman, but also a pioneer.
For the best part of 3 decades, Australian racing was dominated by 3 men. Bart Cummings is still going strong at 72. But in 1998, Tommy Smith died. And this year, Colin Hayes passed away after a magnificent career in which the predominant word was class. While Bart was king of the one-liners as well as the cups, and TJ was the cocky headline-grabbing optimist, C.S. Hayes became known as the quiet achiever.
I always say a 4/5 hard work and routine and 1/5 intuition. And I suppose that intuition comes right through to the selection of the horse too.
In more than 40 years as a trainer with stables in 2 states, Hayes trained an Australian record 5,333 winners, won 2 Melbourne Cups and 3 Cox Plates. In Lindsay Park, the rolling stud and stable complex in the Barossa Valley, he established one of the most influential breeding grounds in our turf history. And with sons Peter and David, he founded his own training dynasty. He did it all with a quiet distinction and grace which belied the rough and tumble of his beginnings. He started with 1 bush horse, Surefoot, which ran 3rd at 66-1, with Hayes betting his honeymoon money, thankfully each way. But his favourite horse was Dulcify, the ill-fated Cox Plate champion of 1979. Hayes retired in 1990, handing his racing empire first to younger son David, and then to Peter, after David moved to Hong Kong. But he continued to look after the breeding side and played a major role in Lindsay Park's consolidation through the 90s. Hayes lived all his life with the motto that the future belongs to those who plan for it. That's why his influence will continue well into the next century.
Yes, the Hayes family, synonymous with Australian racing, and haven't they had a wonderful week, taking out the Amy Victoria Derby on Saturday. Well, one woman who's had a wonderful week, although I'm often advised never to work with children and animals, and this is the day for it. Lynn Talbot, how are you surviving?
Well, are you feeling a little bit hungry? No, I didn't think so. Well, this is the bunnies, and I'm surrounded by Lee's farmyard friends and a whole bunch of kids that have had their faces painted and are having a ball in here. Are we having fun? Yay! Now, Kylie, what little animals have we got in here?
We've got a little piglet.
Do you want to show the pig to the camera? Oh, yes, nice little grunt on cue as well.
We've got 2 rabbits, a number of goats, cashmere goats, and some lambs.
And
some chickens and ducks,
and ducks, and it's sheep. It's all here, and this is one of the favourite spots, of course, for kids to come on Family Stakes Day. And at this point, I'm surviving. I'm still alive. There's been no mess and no fuss, so I'm happy about that. But I'll also be very happy to get out of here.
Lynn Talbot, a nervous filly around children. I don't understand why. I've got to say, I think I've got my work cut out for me here today. If last year was anything to go by, children were pulling plugs and cords, and in telly, it's kind of important if you can't be heard or seen from time to time. So we're keeping a close eye on the little curtain climbers, and hopefully they're behaving, but let's hope they're having more fun than being told where to be and just how to be. We'll take a break. We'll be back with more real soon. of us have just joined us, some images there of the famous Yarra River and Southgate or South Bank, depending on what you prefer to call it, but it is the hub of Melbourne's social scene, great cafe district there. One man who's been managing to track down all sorts of celebrities and stars, our very own Tim Webster, with a woman who's pretty fast on another sort of track.
This, Sandra, is a very fast lady and hoping to go even faster, by the way. Paula Elstrick, hi.
Hi.
Now, you were going to have a drive at Bathurst a weekend after this, but sadly, been pulled.
Yeah, well, the sponsorship we raised to actually drive the Maserati sort of like fell through, so we're actually concentrating now on the World Land Speed record.
Before we get to that, though, I mean, you've been driving forever. You've a kart champion for many, many, many years.
Yeah, I've probably been racing for about 22 years, so getting a bit old at it now.
And not just a driver, you look after them as well, you maintain them?
Yeah, I'm actually a mechanic as well, so majority of my cars, I work on them and race them as well.
OK, so can't go to Bathurst, which is sad, but tell me about the World Land Speed record.
Well, I'll be driving Roscoe McGlashan's Aussie Invader 3 in January and February next year, and hopefully be becoming the fastest woman in the world, which means I'll have to travel over 825 kilometres an hour.
Now, very hot in January and February. I imagine there's a reason for that. At the Salt Lakes, you'll be on a salt lake, I would assume. Is it better then?
Yes, well, it's actually, you know, less chance of rain because the weather conditions plays a great part in the actual attempt. We can't have more than a 5-kilometre crosswind once you're travelling over 800 kilometres an hour. So January, February and March will be, you know, hopefully the perfect time to attempt the record.
Get the record and they'll put you in a V8 supercar the next day.
Well, that's what I'm hoping for, is to become the fastest woman in the world and then actually be able to race a V8 supercar for a couple of years.
All the best with it.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Paula.
Thank you.
Sandra, I don't know what it's like in your marquee. I think you've got a few young people with you, but there's lots of them around here. Over here, there's a little girl over here that's got an ice cream almost as big as herself. Can we see that little girl? There she is. Look, see? Look at them. They're having an absolutely sensational day, Sandra, they are.
They are. You know, it's meant to be about racing, but today's more about families and fun, and the most gorgeous little dials are popping up everywhere, and some have ice cream smeared across them. I'm trying to stay clean, but it's very difficult because the Fletcher clan have joined me. Mr. Alan Fletcher and, of course, our 5 o'clock newsreader in Victoria, Jennifer Hansen, and their newest little one, almost 2, Thomas. How are you, Thomas? Oh, he wants to. It's not an ice cream, Thomas. Now, you guys, you come out every year and you're here just about each race day, but what makes Stakes Day so much fun?
Well, the Stakes Day is the day when you can wear your old clothes so they can get dirty. It is a great family day. They're everywhere, the kids, and they love...
The kids love it. They love seeing the horses. They love the fantastic marquee that Ten put together for the kids with all the balloons and the lollies, of course.
Now, Thomas, 2 years of age, but I know you're a horse racing fan. What's your favourite horse?
The Golden Day.
The Golden
How's that? Is he in training for a future career in broadcasting? Already knows his favourite horse and is part of the Cup Coverage Carnival. Goodness me. Good luck this afternoon, and a little too young for fashions on the field, but you're looking very handsome.
His favourite shirt with cars. Yes.
His favourite shirt with cars. I've got across to Peter and Jenny in the mounting yard. I'm not quite sure where to go here other than to say the details for race 5 are coming up.
Yeah, that's the best way to go, Sandra. And nice to see the little man down there enjoying himself. Thomas?
Yes, yeah, I thought he was a bit hungry there for a start.
He looked a bit hungry. I think he thought it was an ice cream. Let's have a look at the results of the first 4 races before we take a look at the horses here in race 5 on the card. In the first, it was Rocky's Pal, $5.50 and $2.20, defeating Captain Clipper, $7.30. Vanderhart, $2, and a big trifecta to start off with of $762. Second race on the program, it was only a small field, but the winner was number 2, Happy Giggle, which paid $9.20 and $3.60. Preserve second, $2.20. No third tote dividend for Pemberton, and the Quinella paid $15.40. Race 3, the numbers were 3, 7 and 8. Sly Sandra, $7.20 and $2.40. Our Aaron, $2.80. Nova Claus, $2.10. And the race to race double paid $99.40. And then we went on to the 4th, and it was Cabenjar number 3, $2.60 and $1.70, getting in at the end of betting. Ackerbilk second, $2.70. No third tote dividend for Fabiano's son. Right, they're on their way to the gates for this race 5 and the Hilton on the Park Sprint. And let's lead them off with number 2, Hockney. Darren Gowrie Gauci, the rider for John Hawkes.
Quite nicely drawn in barrier 12 here, Peter, but really doesn't appreciate any sting out of the ground, this horse. It was scratched from a race in Sydney during the week, so it has come down here for this. So just with that given the ground, I'd say best to place chance here.
Mighty Way is your pick, number 3, Jen. Damien Oliver, the rider for Matthew Ellerton, has been slightly easy, but getting out to a more realistic quote now.
Yes, looks particularly well, Mighty Way. He goes extremely well fresh, and that's what he is here today, and I think he's going to be very hard to beat.
St Clements Bell, number 4, also has some fresh form, and she looks pretty well. Stephen Adel, the rider for Russell Cameron at Flemington.
Very talented mare, St Clements Bell, capable of a very bold showing first up, and she's once again first up here. She likes it a bit further, but she'll be steaming home at the end of this.
Just about the pick in the yard, I thought, Jen, was number 5, Delirious. He looked magnificent, trained by David Hall, ridden by Greg Hall.
Delirious pulled quite hard early in the race at Caulfield, but might be suited by the hot pace in this race, and Delirious will get back, but should be running on strong. I thought would be very hard to beat.
6, the Shiner, Eddie Wilkinson, the rider for Michael Moroney.
This horse has a terrific record at Moonee Valley, but it's Flemington here today. I've left him there with some chance in the race. He is racing well.
7, Star of Gold, to be ridden by Larry Cassidy for Trevor McKee in the Sunline colours.
Yes, the New Zealand sprinter sat around about midfield, was under a bit of pressure towards the end of that race and would need to improve.
Danny Nikolic rides number 10, Valley Warrior, replacing Grant Cooksley.
Yes, jumped fast and from barrier 3 and just crossed the field on Tuesday. Weakened, but does like the sting out of the ground. So I've left him there with a place chance in this.
Can Stephen Baster and Jim Mason combine again? They've already won 2, and they've got number 12, Happy Forest here.
Happy Forest has got speed, so you'll see him up there for a while. Whether or not he can measure up, I just don't know. Maybe a place chance.
And Sally Winsmount, number 13, National Asset, you wouldn't think would have too much hope against these, really.
The owners might want the owners' tickets, I'd say, for today. He is a hurdler. No, I couldn't be on him.
$50. What's your trifecta?
I'm going 3, 5 and 10.
I like St Clements Bell, but I thought Delirious looked terrific in the mounting yard. They're heading up to the gates now, and there is Graham Salisbury and his merry men taking up the horses with John Patterson and all the clerks of the course who do a wonderful job. Mighty Way at $3.60, still the favourite. Delirious $4.10. St Clements Bell $5.40, and the Shiner $7 are the main chances there. And that is the look at the chances for race 5. Over the page, Happy Forest number 12 is a definite hope at $8.50, and that was John Patterson taking those horses up to the stalls. We'll take a break and we'll head back to Flemington for the running of the Hilton on the Park Spread. Race 5 on Emirates Stakes Day after this. Certainly has seemed to be the colour here at Flemington over this week, Melbourne Cup Week 1999. I don't know whether there's too many of these with pink in their colours, but Roy Higgins has got a more scientific way of finding the winner of race 5, haven't you, Roy?
I certainly have, Pete. There are a couple of very nice chestnuts in the race, actually, and that was the 3 and the 4. Mighty Way, this horse has done a stack of work for a first-up run, looked excellent. But the 4, St Clements Bell, gee, she's a lovely mare. She's marginally showy. She will benefit from this run, but she is classy. Of the others, certainly the 5, Delirious, and 6, the Shiner, are 2 very fit horses, but I marked them 3, 4, 5 and 6, Pete.
Let's quickly get the thoughts of Stephen Arnold, who's riding St Clements Bell in race 5.
Stephen, you'd expect St Clements Bell to go quickly?
Yeah, that's right. She won't be far away. Ideally, she gets over a bit further, but first up fresh, she won't be far away.
The tip is the going is a little bit better out wide.
I think so. We've drawn nicely right on the outside, so we'll probably be in the second row of horses, and hopefully she can finish off.
And there's St Clements Bell completing the line now as we head up to Dan and Gary.
Just about right. St Clements Bell in, Gates crash back away. St Clements Bell jumped pretty well towards the outside with Hockney. Valley Warrior bounded out well from the Shiner. Mighty Way, National Asset and Happy Forest is now going through behind them, getting to about 3rd or 4th. It's Hockney and Valley Warrior who are being able to share the lead. Just behind them was Happy Forest, and then St Clements Bell hard up against the outside rail, trailing Hockney. The Shiner in the cerise colours is about 2 lengths off the speed from our Star of Gold, then National Asset, and the 2 favourites are second last and last, Mighty Way and Delirious. Running onto the course proper, 600 metres to go, and Hockney in front of Valley Warrior. Right behind them, St Clements Bell, and then Happy Forest, Delirious. Mighty Way trying to come into the race. He's starting to improve now from the Shiner, our Star of Gold. It's Hockney, Valley Warrior together at the 400. Swinging off the heels, St Clements Bell, and then came Happy Forest, Delirious and Mighty Way. Down to the 300 metres, there's about 6 of them stretched across the track. St Clements Bell going up to hit the lead from Valley Warrior. Delirious and Mighty Way still running on. It's St Clements Bell in front, Mighty Way, Delirious Delirious coming hard. St Clements Bell has got a length up her sleeve though, and she'll win it. St Clements Bell first, second Delirious, third Mighty Way. Then came Valley Warrior, further back to Happy Forest. Hockney dropped out, then Our Star of Gold, the Shiner, and last in National Asset.
Yes, very good win to St Clements Bell, ridden by Stephen Arnold, drew 13. She was a good filly as a 3-year-old, and she's had a decent let-up, come back now, and she's gone to the line very well to beat Delirious and number 3 Mighty Way. He just didn't seem to be able to accelerate at all, Dan.
It and Delirious were back second last and last over the course proper. They did run on okay, but St Clements Bell looked to be holding them, I reckon, Gary, over the last 100.
Definitely. When Stephen let St Clements Bell down at the 200, she put a decent break on them. Here she is here with the circle around here. She's following old Hockney up there.
And she did have cover, which is most important.
Very important. It's very hard with that wind, as we spoke earlier in the day. But she's had a lovely cover here. She just comes from the back. She's still travelling well there. See, he's just got hold of her here, just angling for that run. Now she's into the clear, and Stephen asked her for that effort. And right on the 4 or 5 in the green, is Mighty Way, and the other horse is Delirious.
Delirious may have even sort of laid it on top of Mighty Way. I think they got pretty close together. Maybe the head-on's going to show that. They look to be engaging in a bit of a bumping duel from about the 400 to the 100. They look to be racing very tight, yes, well, Delirious and Mighty Way.
You can see Damien had to put his whip away there a few times because it might have got a bit close. Now they've sort of separated again.
Here's the head-on. This is from about probably about the 300.
Yes, and you'll see them as they roll it.
And as we have a look at it, you can see the winner circled there. We'll go down to PD with the winning trainer, Russell Cameron.
Yes, Russell's down here, and that was a very good performance first up.
Yeah, very impressive, Pete. She worked down the straight here last week, and she went in the line good, and she's done really well.
Always important in those races to get a bit of a suck along behind them. She had nice cover and just got out at the right time.
Drew the right alley, got behind them, and got carved in the race. But saying that, she's pretty strong at the finish, and she's a good mare. I think up to a mile or so. So we'll we'll probably look at the Railway Stakes in Perth, I think.
And by the look of her in the mounting yard, Russ, whatever she did today, she will improve on a bit.
It was the first good spell she's ever had, and she benefited from it. She looked strong and well, and I was very pleased with her.
Well done.
Thanks, mate.
Russell Cameron, let's head out to the winning jockey now, Stephen Arnold with Johnny Letts.
Yeah, Steve Arnold, pretty happy with the run of St Clements Bell, Steve.
Yeah, I was right with her, John. She always runs well first up. She's pretty clean-winded, and she finished off good today.
Now, Steve, you're living in Melbourne now. This is something that you want, isn't it, when you start off riding in a new state, to crack up for good winner on a listed race, $75,000 race.
Yeah, that's right. It's always nice to ride a winner at a good time of year, and Russell supported me well, so it's good to win one for him.
You've been a good team over a long time, you and Russell. But, Steve, she sat just off the speed. You had the wind cover all the way.
Yeah, got a little bit of cover early and peeled out, and she finished off good.
No, that's good. Good luck, Steve, anyway.
Thanks, Sean.
Stephen Arnold, the winning jockey, speaking out there with John Letts after St Clements Bell's victory. And as Dan and Gary pointed out, she did get some lovely drag behind the leaders and was just able to come across their heels at about the 400 and win pretty convincingly from Delirious and Mighty Way. The favourite runners filling the trifecta placings in race 5. Back with the correct weight signal and the dividends very shortly, right here on 10. Getting ready for race 5A here at Flemington. The Shetland ponies are getting ready, so we'll keep an eye out for them. You love these races, don't you?
I do. They're so cute, and they've got to get over 3 hurdles, I think it is there. Top weight,